Welcome to All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church on this first day of March. I am Reverend Doug McCusker, and I am delighted to be here as your guest worship leader this morning. It is wonderful to have all of you here with us today, whether in person or online. No matter what you believe, who you love, where your ancestors came from, how many or how few times you have been here, or what you are going through this morning, you are welcome. And we are blessed to be here together, in person and online. Every Sunday, we form an instant community by showing up and being present for each other. In that spirit, I invite you to reach out and greet those who are near you this morning. For those online, you are invited to use the chat to say hello to your fellow Zoomers.
Nice to meet you. Hey, nice to meet you.
Hey.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Martin.
Bum rush, Matt. Hey, put out.
Shitty but fine. Shitty but fine. Kind of. It's not good.
Hi, Lex. Hi, Lex. See Lex is in the back? You can take your stuff and go hang out with Lex if you wanted to.
See ya.
And who do we have on Zoom today?
So far this morning, we have Carlin Saltman, Gary and Christy, Martha, Suzanne Carlson, and Trudy Rao.
Welcome. So glad you're here. You will find listed in your order of worship several important announcements about upcoming activities at All Souls. So please check the inserts or the back for details. If this is your first visit here, or if you haven't come in a long time, please sign our guest book in the narthex near the front entrance, so we can keep you posted on our weekly newsletter. You can also find information in the pamphlets, in all the pews, and of course you can check us out on our website at uugreenfield.com. .org. Thank you. uugreenfield.org. Please join us for social hour after the service. Later in the service, we will set aside time for expressing our joys and sorrows. However, candles are located in the side windows, and they may be lit at any time during the service to express an unvoiced joy or sorrow. And now, I invite everyone to come into this room in body and in spirit, to be present, focused, and at peace. Here we are, once again, a nation at war, because the leader of our country ordered the military to attack another sovereign nation. In this case, it is the Republic of Iran. Now, we may have different opinions in this room about the legality, the morality, and the sensibility of these actions. But the bottom line is that people have been killed, and many more will lose their lives in the coming days and perhaps weeks and heaven forbid, years. War is the result of a complete failure to communicate as rational, civil human beings. It is never benign, no matter how surgical the bomb strikes may be. We live on this planet as an interdependent web of life. War is a rupture of the mutuality that connects us all. Just because armies and navies are involved, it is no different than shooting a fellow human being in the street. They're just using different weapons. It is hatred disguised in a uniform. It is power wielded with no conscience or connection to the underlying flow of the spirit of life. The actions of our president go much further than the immediate casualties on the ground. This is a further deterioration of the international rules of peace and self-determination that have been in place since the end of World War II. This opens the door to future aggression by so-called superpowers at the whim of misguided leaders. And when powers collide, everyone suffers. The 31st verse of the Tao Te Ching, the holy book of Taoism, sums up the consequences of such actions. Weapons are the tools of violence. All decent people detest them. Therefore, followers of the way never use them. Arms serve evil. They are the tools of those who oppose wise rule. Use them only as a last resort, for peace is dearest to the decent person's heart, and to them even a victory is no cause for rejoicing. It is a good sign when humanity's higher nature comes forward. Likewise, it is a bad sign when the lower nature comes forward. With the slaughter of multitudes, we have grief and sorrow. Each victory is a funeral. When you win a war, you celebrate by mourning. So let us not get caught up in the delirium of nationalism when people are dying. Let us hold their loved ones in our hearts. And let us work for peace in the face of militarism by loving ourselves, our fellow human beings, no matter where they live. And by doing whatever we can to replace aggression with the beloved community. Let us take this time now for quiet reflection as we listen in silence to the prelude as played by our beloved pianist, Laura Josephs Lim. I invite Rocky to come forward and light our chalice. And I will be sharing the opening chalice lighting words by Robin Gray. Day breaks on our gratitude for family and friends, for the freedom to find our own truth, for the company of those who gather here, and the promises that we offer one another. Let the light of day bring the grace of peace into our lives. Please rise in body or spirit as you are able to sing our opening hymn, number 123, in the Gray hymnal, Spirit of Life. And may we sing it twice?
We may.
Yes.
Ah. Please join me in reading out loud in unison our All Souls Covenant, which you will find in your order of service. In this house, we covenant with one another to build our connections on a foundation of love, hope, and faith, to act responsibilities, our tasks, and work together to promote equality, justice, and peace, to stand on the side of love, embracing the liberation of the oppressed, and championing all movements to end discrimination, to communicate with kindness and support, and to serve with compassion and commitment, to listen respectfully with an open mind and value our diversity as a source of our communal strength, to learn together and grow together, generously sharing our time, talents, and treasures, to celebrate the joys of discovery, embracing the fullest measure of our humanity, from the wonder of youth to the wisdom of age, to openly share our laughter and our tears, showing reverence for the divine in all that is. I invite you all to join me in a guided gratitude meditation focused on cultivating appreciation for the things in our life that we often take for granted. So please find a comfortable position in which to sit for our meditation. If you want, allow your eyes to gently close, or you can let them soften as you focus on a spot in front of you. Tune into your body and notice any areas that may feel tight. As you breathe, consciously exhale into those tight spots with compassion. Let's begin by creating a blank canvas. Taking a deep, cleansing breath through your nose in. And release, letting go, clearing the mind of any concerns that you brought with you or any stress that you may have about the future. I invite you to place both hands lightly on your stomach and breathe into them, becoming energized and alert. Aligning yourself with your willpower. The intention in this moment is gratitude. Feel this invigorating energy flow underneath your hands and spreading through your entire body. Continuing to hold your hands on the center of your stomach, your energy center. Visualize the sun. Imagine it coming over the horizon. See it illuminating all that it touches. Oceans, hills, the grass, your skin. Feel it touching your body, warming it. Hear the birds chirping and the roosters crowing as they greet the sun. See the flowers opening, gratefully tilting toward the light. Tilt your head up like the flowers, drinking in every ounce of sunlight. Feel it washing over and around you, invigorating every part of your body. Feel the sun illuminating your mind, bringing sunny thoughts to it. Now, I invite you to silently repeat after me some positive affirmations. I am grateful for this day. I am grateful for this day. Add some emotion to these words by truly feeling the gratitude flowing through them, not worrying about what your day will look like, letting go of expectations and simply expressing your thanks for being in this moment. I am grateful for this day. Offering thanks for the sun. I am grateful for this day. Feeling gratitude flowing through you as you breathe easily and enjoy the wonderful moment of pure appreciation. I am grateful for this day. Now, turn your attention to your body. I am grateful for my body. Feel gratitude move through each body part as you say again, I am grateful for my body. Feel it deep within your bones, continuing to repeat, I am grateful for my body. I am grateful for my body. Now, turn your attention to your mind. I am grateful for my mind. I am grateful for my mind. Express thanks for your beautiful, unique, brilliant mind. I am grateful for my mind. Feel appreciation moving through your head, continuing to repeat, I am grateful for my mind. Now, turn your attention to your being. I am grateful for everything I will experience today. I am grateful for everything I will experience today. Good or bad, every experience makes us who we are. Welcome the highs and the lows alike, knowing that everything is a lesson. I am grateful for everything I will experience today. Every experience is an opportunity for growth. Hold appreciation in your awareness as you continue to repeat, I am grateful for everything I will experience today. I invite you now to take a slow, deep, cleansing breath through your nose. And as you exhale, gently open your eyes and return your attention to this sacred gathering. Welcome back. Every week in our church, we take up an offering, which gives us an opportunity to exercise the generosity of spirit that supports All Souls and our ministries in the world. If you are visiting today, you are our guest. Feel free to let the plate pass. We see this act of giving, of growing more generous in our hearts and in our actions, as essential to our spiritual well-being. We will now receive this morning's offering.
Sing the praise of the
Individually and together, we are building a world filled with peace and justice, love and joy. Each one of you, by your commitment of time, talent, and treasure, helps make that grand vision real. Our reading this morning is entitled Grace by the Reverend Chris Jimerson.
I don't see someone.
When she was a young girl, they told her that grace was only available to her, a child of original sin, through the forgiveness and whim of an all-powerful God. Then she sat with her grandfather as he was dying. She held his hand, and she and the ones that she loved stayed with him through his great passage. And she felt grace rising among them. Later, during her college years, she volunteered for the local refugee shelter. And one day, she witnessed the counselor working with the young children traumatized by war. She heard the children begin to speak their truths with one another in that language that is only fully understood by such children. And she watched as the counselor put his plans aside and let the children begin to heal one another. And she felt grace radiate between them. And as repeatedly through the years, she witnessed this same emergence between and among people, she came to understand grace as something we co-create, and sometimes something we allow to happen by simply getting out of the way. I stand before you today by the grace of the universe. Not just for my birth, but also for still being alive. I have too many people to thank and too many things that have happened to me to list them all. So all I can say is thank you. Muchas gracias. And then pass it on by the way I live my life. In this regard, you are probably in the same boat. It's amazing that we are all here. If we could actually remember all the things that we have received and given away in our lives, we would be in a state of bliss. I mean, everything, joys and sorrows, things we asked for and things we had no right to expect, things that were good for us, and foolish things that nearly got us killed. They are all part of the grace that has shined on through our lives. Grace is a freely given and unmerited favor which rejuvenates and strengthens our spirit. I consider grace to be like energy. It cannot be created or destroyed, only changed from one form to another in the interdependent web of life. We giveth and we receiveth grace from one another in the tiny little acts of being together. And sometimes we grace another with selfless sacrifice or dramatic rescues of the soul. When I was 17 years old, I went to the beach with my friend Kevin Riley. His family had access to a beach house in a secluded area of Sandbridge Beach, Virginia. One summer afternoon, in the middle of the week, we were body surfing on the waves for what seemed like several hours. It was windy, the surf was high, and we were getting slammed around quite a bit. But it was fun. No one else was on the beach except for Kevin and me. I think Kevin had gone in to use the bathroom or grab a snack, leaving me all by myself for a while. I was 17, and I thought I was invincible. But on this day, not only were the waves high, but the undertow was strong. At one point, I realized that I had drifted quite a distance from the shore. I decided to swim back, but it seemed like I was swimming against an invisible current. No matter how hard I stroked, I kept going further and further out. I screamed for Kevin at one point, but I didn't see him. After a while, in my panic, I completely forgot about him. I resigned myself to struggle alone. But it was no use. I was running out of steam. I was in deep trouble. At the point that I was just about ready to give up, I saw someone approaching. It was Kevin. He grabbed me and he pulled me towards him. Just the thought of not being alone gave me the strength to keep swimming. I guess I had a reserve tank of energy somewhere that I didn't know about. Knowing that I was not alone, realizing a presence beside me who was willing to endure what I was going through, was all I needed. It didn't guarantee that I would be saved, that we would be saved, but on that day, we were. We took turns pulling each other diagonally against the waves until we finally broke free from the undertow. Thank you, Kevin. Muchas gracias. Pass it on. Now, there may be times in our lives when we deny the grace all around us and choose to go it alone, thinking that our hard work and determination is all we need to succeed in life. Self-sufficiency is one of those deeply ingrained values of American culture. When times are good and our path seems clear, it is intoxicating to think that we are in total control. We can even delude ourselves into thinking that we are self-made or that we are totally responsible for all our so-called success. When good things happen, or when we are rewarded with comfort and prosperity, it is because of a little assistance and breaks along the way that were created by people in our lives, like parents, friends, teachers, doctors, and even people behind the scenes, like community activists or scientists. As a white male, I can not deny that things have been skewed in my favor due to a complete accident of birth. I've been given privileges and favors that have opened doors for me that for others remained closed. In the Hebrew scripture, the book of Isaiah chronicles a time when the Israelites took their grace for granted. Through their arrogance and illusions of invincibility, they had gotten caught in a spiritual undertow and had lost their way. One prophet after another warned them that they were getting way over their head. Now, during this period, Judea, the southern part of modern Israel, was constantly under attack from the Assyrians and the Chaldeans. But as the prophets warned, their destruction came because they couldn't hold it together internally. Through a series of corrupt kings and divisions among the people, in 597 BCE, they were defeated by Nebuchadnezzar II. Now, most of the educated and skilled people of Judea were deported to Babylon. The great temple of Solomon was destroyed, and Jerusalem was ransacked. For 55 years, a little over 2 generations, they lived in exile. Those who remembered Judea and the land of their ancestors had almost all died. Now, exile, to be sure, is an aching form of suffering. Isaiah 43, verse 43, is the point in the story when their God, Yahweh, reaches out and grabs the people of Israel. He says, "Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. When you pass through these deep waters, I will be with you. Rivers will not overwhelm you, and the flames will not consume you, because you are precious in my sight and honored, and I love you. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not fear, for I am with you. That's a beautiful and comforting image, isn't it? Do not fear, for I am with you. I find it very interesting that it didn't say, if you pass through deep waters. It said, when you pass through deep waters. It is an acknowledgement that we are not given a free pass to sail through life with no adversity. There's no promise that we won't suffer. Heartache, disappointment, illness, grief. These are the times that knock us for a loop. And just like me, trying to break free from the undertow all by myself, our first reaction to suffering is usually to struggle alone. We tell ourselves, who wants to hear my problems? Or we're embarrassed that we got ourselves in such a jam in the first place. We don't want to appear weak by not being able to take care of ourselves. But sometimes, all we wind up doing is replaying things in our heads and tying ourselves in knots. We become so self-absorbed that we withdraw from our support system. All our lives, we are held within the interdependent strands of creation, but most of the time, these strands are invisible and silent. As we suffer, we can easily forget how much love surrounds us. And when we stop struggling, and when we listen deeply with our entire being, we can feel the presence of others. Grace, karma, the loving hand of kindness. These are the words used to describe that which comes to us out of the blue. No matter what we have done or how we have been afflicted, healing starts when we open ourselves completely to this mysterious presence of universal community. In our reading this morning, the main character experienced this healing grace as the children told each other their stories and shared their lives with one another. She came to understand that grace is something that we co-create and allow to happen by simply getting out of the way. These unexpected blessings and gifts don't only come when we're in distress, they're happening to us all the time. The Reverend Dr. Kate Braystrip writes that if we humans were making good use of our consciousness, we would wander around in a flabbergasted daze of gratitude all the time. There could be nothing, but instead, there's something. There could be only birth, pain, and death. Instead, there is love. A couple of years ago, my wife Marie and I flew to Puerto Rico for vacation. When the plane landed safely back on the ground, almost everyone on the plane started clapping and cheering. Now, it was just a routine flight, and the landing was smooth and graceful. So it wasn't like we were relieved that we had averted disaster. So I looked at the man next to me with a quizzical expression on my face, and he said, "We Puerto Ricans always do that. We want the pilots to know that we appreciate what they did for us." What a beautiful gesture of gratitude. And then I remembered that after long car trips, I silently say, "Thank you," to no one in particular. Sure, I drove the car, but a million little things all came together to get me safely to my destination. The weather, the condition of the road, the smooth functioning of my vehicle, the proper decisions by other drivers, getting enough sleep the night before, and on it goes. There are just too many things to thank. So all I can do is throw it out there and trust that my intentions are pure. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Pass it on. Perhaps that's why the prayer that people say just before eating is called grace. At its core, it is a prayer of gratitude for the multitude of things that came together to put food on the table. I'll bet that the practice of praying before meals originated during a time of famine or drought. Food is something that we should never take for granted. Being able to eat is a reminder that we have been blessed by good fortune and by the contribution of too many things to mention one by one. Whenever we sit down to eat, or successfully make it to our destination, or even when we wake up in the morning, we are the recipients of the bounty of the universe. When we offer our thanks, we acknowledge that none of this had to happen, but it did. The beauty of pure, unadulterated gratitude is that we embody it. And before long, it shapes our actions. When we are aware of the abundance of things that have been given to us, despite sorrow and loss, it's hard not to be humbled and willing to be of service to others. Acknowledging our gratitude leads to giving back. In this way, we live into our grace, and our actions mimic our feelings. In our Unitarian Universalist tradition, the seventh principle declares a simple truth: respect the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Along with respect comes gratitude, because we are reminded that we are never alone. We are woven together by a mystical force that will never let us drift away. Theologian Monica Coleman, who I studied in seminary, summed it in these words: relationships form the world by weaving our moral, cultural, religious, lived in, believed about, hoped for existence together. By weaving those things together. I heard the actor Tony Curtis say once that he believed that service toward others is the tax that we pay for living on this earth. That always stuck with me. I interpret it to say that I am taken care of, so I must take care of others. Maybe that's the other part of not being alone. That we have a role and responsibility to care for each other, no matter our or their circumstances. At the hospital where I did my chaplain internship about 12 years ago, I met a young man in his early 20s. He was fit and trim, but inside his body, his cells had run amok, and they were causing him great neurological pain. He was diagnosed with a rare autoimmune disease. In fact, it had only been identified several years before. He agreed to be the first person to test a new protocol to treat the disease with a bone marrow transplant. Even though he realized that the treatment brought great risks, he had a tremendous attitude about using his condition to help others. He even told me that he felt blessed to be in such a position. Can you imagine that? Now, he had a small Baptist church in his hometown in North Carolina, and they were completely invested in his healing, and he was invested in theirs. I visited him on the day of his transplant, and he told me that his church community was doing a prayer marathon to send him positive energy so the stem cells would take hold and give him a brand new immunity system. Here he was, getting ready for a transplant, and he asks me if I could help him find a nonprofit organization near the hospital that helped unhoused people. His church had created a foundation in his name, and he was hoping to bring the congregation to the big city so they could directly minister to the unhoused people in the streets. I asked him why the unhoused, and he said because they suffer invisibly. If he could use his name and his situation to shed light on their plight and help his community reach out beyond their walls, then his suffering had meaning. His life had been transformed by the grace of his church community, and he wanted to spread that grace as far as he could. Now, we may want to experience total 24/7, 365 days of happiness. We might pursue things in life that we think will keep us from harm. But that's not living. That's an illusion. That's a denial of life. If we never knew pain or suffering, we would not know happiness because each defines the other. But just as sorrow and joy are part of being alive, so too is being in relationship. We weren't created individually as completely separate beings. We are in this complicated, messy world as beings in relationship. We are in relationship with all of creation in ways that we can't even fathom. This theology of relationship calls us to nurture each other, to listen deeply, to forgive when we fail, to heal our wounds, and ultimately to save each other with loving grace. When you pass through deep waters, I will be with you. Rivers will not overwhelm you, and the flames will not consume you, because you are precious in my sight and honored, and I love you. Do not fear, for I am with you. This is the beloved community, heaven on earth. Thank you. Muchas gracias, universe. Pass it on. Que así sea. May it be so. Please rise in body or spirit as you are able to sing hymn number 128 in the gray hymnal, For All That Is Our Life.
As I said earlier, we take time for members and friends to briefly share a deep joy or sorrow that you would ask us to hold with you. A microphone will be brought to you. And remember, those are candles in the window there if you would like to light an unspoken joy or sorrow. Those online are welcome to share your joys and sorrows through the chat, and they will be read aloud here in the sanctuary. Please note that this is not a time for personal or political announcements. We care for each other by being present and attentive to each other's authenticity. So please share from your heart. Listen from your heart. Be spontaneous and lean of expression. One very great joy that we feel today is to have visitors to All Souls. During this time, we warmly invite you to introduce yourself. While this is not required, we would love the opportunity to welcome you.
I'm so grateful. I'm Kate Mason. I'm so grateful to be back home again. I had a wonderful vacation in Mexico, a little bit of a 4-day layover in Mexico City unplanned. And so it was very leisurely, and it was also a good challenge. I'm glad to be back with you guys.
I know that I've sort of said this before, but I find constant joy coming to this church. And I can tell you all the wonderful things that have happened here with me, but I won't detail them. I just am so thrilled. And especially to have a minister who talks about being grateful for everything you have. And I recently went to a Catholic burial where they sat the Kaddish and everybody was crying. I mean, I was crying too, even though I knew the person who had a great sense of humor and loved doing that. I mean, loved doing these jokes. But nobody, of course, would share things like that. Anyway, and I always said humor was my spiritual practice. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm buried, and I think I said this before, right? Mm-hmm. When I'm buried, I want to just be buried in a cardboard box, and then covered in with dirt, and then they plant a tree. Ew. And then they can dance around the tree, dancing on my grave, saying, "Ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies."
All right.
And
We'll do that.
yeah.
Hi, I'm Sandra. I just want to light a candle of deep gratitude for the life of Jesse Jackson and all that he meant to the people in my generation, his leadership, his courage, his kindness, and his passion.
I think it's still working if anybody wants to talk.
I'd like to light a candle of sorrow and support for my dad's side of the family, my great-grandmother passed away this week, 3 months shy of her 106th birthday. Which, yeah, an amazing life that she got to live, and I'm very proud of her, and, you know, sad to lose her, so. Yeah.
Open this.
Hi, I'm Suzanne. I'm excited. I've decided to kind of grab the tail of the tiger and organize people to sing songs of resistance. And we're making a little progress. And stay tuned. After the service, we might gather and sing a few.
Hi, I'm Maria, and I woke up this morning with a heavy heart and a lot of texts from a woman I worked with doing trauma work who fled Iran when she was 12 years old and went back to help heal women and children, and all of the people fighting for their freedom. And a lot of the words this morning were, God bless America. Hoping to be free from a dictatorship. And I'm so confused in my head, but not confused in my heart. So I want to light a candle for their strength, ongoing strength through so long. May they find peace and happiness and joy in the small things. And thank you for Doug and your service this morning.
Hi, my name's Russ. My joy is that I just happened to find this video last night online of Leonard Nimoy talking about where he grew up in the West End in Boston. And when he said the address, it reminded me, oh, yeah, my dad's family lived upstairs from them. In fact, I think my dad said that his older sister, Ann, knitted a sweater for little baby Leonard. Great memory.
Drink it all and then get one more cup.
Hi, I'm Christine. I have
You try.
a lot of things.
I like it.
And Sarah. My
Too cold away.
our dear Tiff is heading back to the West Coast,
Get some.
and I'm gonna miss her. And my mom's gonna be 92 tomorrow, and I'm like really excited that she made it to 92, and I think she's gonna still be around at 106, maybe even longer. Wow.
What should I say?
Could we light a candle of sorrow for all those who are trapped and involved in wars all over the world, and for their loved ones
Please.
who miss them when they don't come home?
We have a couple on Zoom that have come in. One is from Maria, who wants to light a candle of hope for all of the women fighting breast cancer. And Gary has something to share, and he'd like to share it himself if possible. We've had some technical issues a few weeks ago, so let's see if they're fixed. So Gary, you can feel free to unmute now and try speaking. Let's see if we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. So I put it in the chat anyway, but I'd rather share it live. We just learned that a dear friend from one of our beloved communities is who's been ill with cancer, living with cancer for some time, and at one point was actually supposedly on the road to recovery, is being moved to hospice today. Her condition has worsened, so please light a candle for her and all those who love her. And her name is Susan.
Okay. I now invite us into a time of silent reflection. spirit of community in which we share and find strength in common purpose, we turn our minds and our hearts toward one another, seeking to hold in our hearts all our joys and sorrows, those that were spoken and those that are left unspoken.
Gary, are we muted?
Please join in singing Prayer to Friends, which you can find as an insert in the front of your gray hymnal. I'd like to send us off with the words of John O'Donohue. Like the joy of the sea coming home to shore, may the relief of laughter rinse through your soul. As the wind loves to call things to dance, may your gravity be lightened by grace. Like the dignity of moonlight restoring the earth, may your thoughts incline with reverence and respect. As waters take whatever shape it is in, so free may you be about who you become. As silence smiles on the other side of what's said, may your sense of irony bring perspective. As time remains free of all that it frames, may your mind stay clear of all that it names. May your presence of listening deepen enough to hear in the depths the laughter of the universe. Go in peace, serve the world, and return again in love. Please remain seated for our closing musical reflection. At the conclusion, you are invited to share any announcements of upcoming events and activities that you would like all of us to know about, and then join us for coffee and conversation.
That's it.
Yeah, piles.
There is a anti-war demonstration happening today at 1:15 on the Commons. That's my announcement. And also there's a worship committee meeting on Monday night on Zoom. Let me know if you want to be included.
Hi, Robin. Please join us today after coffee hour. Up front here, we'll have a little circle discussion, the third meeting of a drop-in group about finding hope in these challenging times through community and right action. And you'll just be invited to check in about how you're doing in response to all the things that are happening on the news and in our world, and then where you're finding hope or where you're able to take action, or sharing ideas for how you might be able to do that.
Good morning, I'm David. On the back of your order of worship, it makes reference that there's a campus team meeting, campus group meeting on next Sunday, the 8th. It, in fact, is going to be on the 15th at noon instead.
Feel the need to move your body for a good cause? Next Saturday morning at the Y, Dancing for a Cause will benefit Stone Soup Cafe. I think it's $5 to go and dance for an hour and a half, and I think it might be a Zumba class, but I'm not really sure. But sounds like fun. I'll probably be there. I think it's from 10 to 11:30. It's an hour and a half event. Jordan. At the Y on Saturday.
Just a reminder for anybody who's a member of the Franklin Community Co-op, today's the annual meeting. They need to try to get 100 people to vote. 2:30 at the St. Andrew's Church.
All right, let's have some refreshments.